But when we were going through them, the dream driver number one that you're working on was your vision board. How did that go? How'd that feel as you guys were going through that? What's it look like? I'd love to see like a quick little whoosh of it if you have it
Well,
near
I
you.
think mine was a little ahead of the others from
Mhm,
talking with them because you know that I had worked on it last spring. But
mhm.
I can flip my screen around here. I did do adding to it. So I'll show so that they have an idea. I
Mhm.
think in talking with them here, they got a kind of an outline for theirs. So see, I did the
Awesome.
blue last spring and it kind of morphed. I thought I'd do it just there and then I wanted more. So then that added and then that. So it's hilarious looking. It's not even from the
Hey,
bottom to the top.
there's
But I
no
added
doubt.
the little specifics on relationships, you know, move closer to family, upgrade mother's care, trip
Good.
with Amy, braces for Chloe, support Susan and Phil, support Bill and Marcia. Then right, I put blog and book,
Mm-hmm.
missions and beyond, adventure, grow in faith, give more, help servants of the Lord. And then I put my premier accomplishment. I changed my goal for
Woohoo.
silver. I did have it a little earlier, but I think January 1st is
January
definitely
1st. I
doable.
love it.
All
Well,
right.
so
So,
technically that would be December 31st because everything, hey Sarah,
right.
welcome. Everything resets on at the end of the month. So that
Okay.
will be something that you might want to think about. But then the other I was going to say is I love that you got super more specific with the relationships. And I'd actually encourage you to do the same even with your missions trips. Write down
Mhm.
like exactly where you might like even it might not be, you know, you might not know the missionary who you want to go work with or whatnot, but even
Yeah.
the area or the country or whatnot and
Well,
having
I think for me is to talk with different mission boards
mm-hmm,
for the counseling possibility over
mm-hmm.
Skype, and that is along the lines. And as far as trips, then they kind of morph into where the need
Yes,
is. But
yes.
I have thought more specifically. But thank
Mm-hmm.
you for that. That's a good suggestion.
What about Danielle and Cheryl? Can we see your vision boards?
Hi.
You can. You can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was my typical last minute
Yep.
procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
So I had thought about it. Sorry, my phone is now choosing to die, so I'm gonna have to plug it in. So I was thinking about it. I just hadn't actively done anything
Mm-hmm.
until yesterday. So my pictures are kind of black and white, and then I was like, okay, I don't have a poster board. I'm completely anyway. It's just my personality. Last minute, throw it together. But it's in my head. So
Okay.
I don't know if I put it on a folder because I feel like I'm always carrying around
Yeah.
folders with papers.
Okay. Hold on.
So
Scooch it over a little bit because it's on the edge there.
oh, there
Perfect.
we go. Okay. So it's two-sided,
Oh,
and
nice.
I have, well, it's the size of the picture is not the importance of the thing, just so you know. So printing
Thank you
out
for the
images.
clarification.
So yeah, for clarification, it's not bigger because it's a bigger picture. It's not a bigger idea. So the back of the folder is kind of ideas that the things that my husband and I together are
Mm-hmm.
just thinking about. So
Mm-hmm.
the bottom picture there is of a house with a pond. We're
Okay.
talking about working on putting a pond on our property.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's
Nice.
very complicated process because of government. So
No.
we'll see. So that's actually a big project, but
Okay.
we want to do that. And then over here is a picture of the barn because we want to redo the barn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another huge project that'll take some time, but we're planning now and trying
Mm-hmm.
to think about how that's going to work. And then there's a picture of a church because we've just been, probably more me, but we're praying about what church and what ministries. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we do support missionaries, but what missionaries would God have
Mm-hmm.
us? So that little picture of a church is actually a big thing right now in our lives.
Well, awesome though.
And
I love
then,
that.
yeah. And then my daughter is starting, well, she started her own company. And my goal is to leave my current job and work for her. I can work
Oh,
from
that would
home.
be super cool.
Yeah. So that's that goal. And then this side is more personal. So the big picture here, which actually could account for the importance of it, is the picture of a home office. Because right now my office in the
Beautiful.
house is a disaster. It just has stuff everywhere in it. I have to completely empty it and redo it. So I need to accomplish all of these goals. I've decided I have to do my office so that I have a place to think and
Excellent.
learn and
Yes.
pray. And so then there's as a couple, we would just want to get out more and hike more and sort of exercise together more. So that's kind of that. And I think it's more me to say, let's go.
Yes.
Instead of me saying, I have to make dinner and I have to do this and I have to do that.
Good
He's
job.
always just drop it and go. And it's more me who has to say it. And then date night. We don't do enough date nights.
Yes.
It
So,
was important.
Quick tip, dating divas, DIVAS, dating divas. So many good ideas
Awesome.
to remind yourself, and they sometimes text or email you to keep you accountable for that.
That's
Okay,
what I
write
need.
that down, Sarah, Cheryl, and me. 'Cause we just we need to make sure we're doing that.
Hey.
What was your top picture, Danielle?
So that's a picture of like a couple sort of sledding or something, and it says how more marriages die of neglect than of anything else. Don't forget date night. And sometimes we used to do date nights when the kids were little, so I guess we feel like it's not quite as important because it's like we're home alone for the most part. So he just feels like that is date night. No, it's not.
Sounds like a guy. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then the picture here, and I'm sorry, it's all black and white.
Okay.
That is just a woman reading. And I do read every evening.
Excellent.
But I want to start reading up to 10, at minimum of 10 pages a day on a book of like leadership or like learning about my oils or health and wellness or
continued education. Yeah. Love it.
Yep. Just kind of that. So that's been important. And I've been reading, I've proved to myself that I can. I've been reading more fiction, but I'm proving that I can do that 10 pages easily.
And I love that you gave yourself a super specific goal for the 10 pages a day, because that's something you can keep yourself accountable to. So that's excellent.
10. And I'm not a fail if I do 8, but I want to do 10. And then obviously the oils, I just want to really do more. And I want that to be part of our income. And, my husband's considering retiring, in a few years. And I just want to be able to just pretty much replace his and because we have these other goals of the barn and things that'll take some time.
Yes.
And then the last picture I have is I really want to take a trip to Russia.
Oh.
And I have friends in Russia. She's like, just come. And I'd love to go next summer if at all, we can afford it. So we'll see. So it's a goal and I'm putting money away. And
that's amazing. So a couple thoughts. I would add maybe quotes or inspirational verses or whatever that will drive you. So adding that, and then even.
So I didn't get a chance to put that up. Proverbs 24:18. Without a vision, people perish. And I hadn't really considered like a personal vision board. I kind of always looked at that verse as like a church verse, like as a church, we should have a vision, and we should, but that personal vision.
Yes.
Because I always thought, well, we had this conversation. Oh, brother, these people need to get a life, make it a vision board. But then I read that verse this morning, and I was like, oh.
Thank you, Lord.
Okay.
And it's so true. If you're not constantly trying to improve yourself, and is that vision, right, of what you want to be, you're holding up that mirror of Christ, then you will not take those steps. The other thing I was going to say is maybe put a date on for your Russia trip. You had said, possibly summer. So maybe, June 2019 or whatever. Right. Having that in there. Awesome job. Love it. What do you think, Melissa?
Oh, so I had to get my mute off. I think it's great. Yeah, I really like all of the goals that she has and adding the quotes and maybe a little more color to the board.
I know. Last minute.
Printer fail.
No, I think the quotes and the verses and the deadlines, but you gave me some ideas too. Like now my dog was making weird noises and I had to slip out. I'm like, what, is she sick? But she wasn't. She was doing anyway. Was that to read 10 pages a day or to write?
To read.
Okay, great. I liked that. I really liked that. Made me think for my writing to write so many pages or words a day. So thank you for that. That motivated me.
Great tip. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, Cheryl, you're up.
Okay, so I didn't print anything yet. This is hold on. I don't
So
really
drew
know.
it out. Yeah.
I did. I
Mm-hmm.
drew it
That's
out.
still a great start.
So yeah, it's just drafted at this point, and
Such a
I
business.
just
I
put
love it.
sections. Of course, it's see through, so you can
Yes.
see it's on my to-do list.
Hey, you know
But
what? You got it done, and that's the important part. So,
well, I have the
good job
poster
for
board
you.
over there. It's
Oh, nice.
ready. I just didn't print
Yes.
anything out yet. But yeah, so
Just
the
a quick
sections,
breakdown.
yeah, breakdown. So priorities, I just wanted to keep that really frontline
Mm-hmm.
reminder. Grateful heart as a magnet for miracles. I love that quote.
Absolutely.
And just keeping the joy of the Lord, living every day to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
So my next little pie piece is family. I would love to help my parents retire early. Well, earlier than they plan to. At this point, they put us through school, and that really set them back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be
It's a beautiful goal.
something. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's definitely ready. I would like to host more. I
Okay.
haven't really used my hospitality
Mm-hmm.
gift as
Okay.
much recently. That's something I used more at my
Mhm.
parents' house.
So,
And-
thought on that. How
Mhm.
much more?
Yeah, so I didn't get specific yet. I
Okay.
know I need to.
Mm-hmm.
It was more just get something on paper. But yeah, I mean, even just once a month right now
Okay.
would be a goal that I think is attainable.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it's a great, not only relationship building, you know that, but a great tool to reach out to those that you can invest in and try to make a difference in, like who you wouldn't know otherwise. So I think you've
put
done,
that-
from what I've seen, like with your neighbors, I think you've done a great job reaching out to them and trying to connect. So that would be an incredible addition.
yeah, I put down expand circle of influence. It's definitely something
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to do.
Mm-hmm. And this is naturally going to do that. You're just going to see that,
Right.
like the ripple effect, right?
Right. Yeah, and then healthiest year yet, I split that into healthier eating. I know
Okay.
that's something I really need to work on.
And
And
again,
then,
specific.
Yes, yeah. Well, I put quit sugar, but I don't know if that's realistic.
Okay, but what do you guys think would be a good, because to be honest, I used to be, and I still do struggle, but I was a huge sugarholic. Like I would come home and I'd eat like a dozen cookies after college, like after I get home from work, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know, Danielle, don't spit on me, but I had to really work on it. So what would you think for you guys looking at just completely cutting out sugar? What would be a good starting point for her?
Plant-based sugars.
Okay, fantastic. So substitution.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Maple
it.
syrup is a great substitution. I put that in my coffee, and I don't even need creamer.
Excellent. Love it. There you go.
Yeah,
We'll get there,
I love stevia. That I use stevia for a lot of things. Or even if you're using cane sugar, at least it's a stepping stone.
Yes. Fantastic. So your stepping stones.
Drinking water. Just set your alarm. Sue sets her alarm. I mean, I carry bottles around, but drinking water is a step too.
And another, go ahead, Danielle.
And putting like an orange in your water, because it's not
Yes.
sweet, but it's citrusy, and it kind of does help with that craving of sugar.
And it
and Sue's, Slim and Sassy Sue's, tell her about what that does.
Yeah, so I was going to say any of the citruses or even your Slim and Sassy or metabolic blend, it reacts with the brain and actually creates a desire to continue drinking or to drink more. It actually helps to focus and push that along. The metabolic blend, I put a drop or two, at least, it comes that fast, in my water every day because it helps with blood sugar stabilization. And with my grams, having, borderline diabetes, that's something I'm trying to be proactive with. Another quick tip, I am totally up to you, but I usually try to drink the whole thing at one time when my alarm goes off, and then I refill it right away so it's ready for the next, other than it being empty and sitting there like, oh, I'll get to it next time. So that's just something I've learned too. But great, love the healthy habits.
And I guess the next one is working out. I'm not a runner. I hate running. I wasn't built to run.
Ditto. I felt the same.
I'm convinced. But I would like to do a 5K at least
Mhm.
before my next birthday, which is in
When's your next birthday?
May.
Okay, there you go. Write it down. 5K.
Yeah, no, it's on here.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Yeah, that one's specific. Travel. I know Russia was mentioned there.
Mhm.
Yes, Cheryl, you're coming with.
Team
I
trip.
feel like I'm the problem though. The whole June 2019 thing. I'll work on that.
Write it down. You never know how the Lord works. Mysterious ways.
True.
Amen.
True. If I happen upon 3 extra weeks of vacation, it'll happen.
Well, don't say
So-
that because he might get you laid off.
That's true. That's true. That's awful. Well, I have doTERRA to fall back on. So.
That's why we're specific with our prayers.
Yes. Extra specific. doTERRA is the next one. Learning and leading and just building relationships kind of goes hand in hand with the love others too.
Mhm.
And then I'd like to learn a new language or relearn.
Love it.
I know we had talked about Italian. I'm still trying to figure out which language. Spanish, I probably know the most, which is not saying much because it's not very much at all.
Hey,
And
stop
then
cutting
Russian-
yourself down.
Hmm?
Said stop cutting yourself down.
Oh no, but it's just true. So, and then I work with a bunch of Belgians, so I would love to know what they're saying when
Mhm.
they don't think I know. Or even
And
just
don't they
research
speak?
them.
Don't they speak French? Belgium?
They do. Yes. So that would be French. Yeah, there's a lot of languages I'm throwing out here at once, so I'm not
So,
really sure.
but I'm trying to get your commonality. It's a romantic language base, right?
Mhm.
So maybe even a thought on that would be going to the root of all of it and trying to figure out, because if they're all based from that one area, like just a thought,
They
and I
are
don't
all
even
very
know if
similar.
Latin was even on your radar, but that might be something to,
Yeah,
if,
I
because
think
that
so.
way you have your French, you have your Italian, you have your Spanish. French would be, I don't know what Belgian, what's the root of Belgian? You guys know?
French.
Belgian's French.
It's
Straight up French? Okay.
Yeah, I mean there's dialects, but that's
Mhm.
like
Well, there you so anyway. So yeah, love that. I think, and it's learning a language always keeps your mind really sharp. So fantastic.
yeah, and along with that, I'd like to start playing piano again.
Oh. And a specific for that would be dust it off. No, I'm just joking. I can't.
Yes, yeah, maybe get it retuned because it's made a couple moves since.
Okay. So when do you want to get it retuned by?
I don't know.
Woohoo!
I have to
Getting
find
real
the
here,
person
folks.
first. I keep asking people, and nobody knows who tunes piano. So.
Melissa?
For getting piano tuned,
Mm-hmm.
cost about 75 to 150, depending on how much your
And
piano
who
is.
Yeah,
should
no,
we-
it's who the contact
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I can send you a good Bill Keller. He's really
Perfect.
good in the
Oh,
business
perfect.
for ages.
That would be great.
Yeah. I can
Perfect.
send-
Hold on. Write it on your vision board so then you can check it off.
It's definitely going on.
Right? You make a list and you're like, oh, I already did that and that.
Yeah. That's the best.
Awesome. I love it. Sarah, I know that you came in at the end, but I don't know, were you able to get a vision board or do you want to talk about that next week?
Like just right now, I kind of did.
Oh, I love it.
I was late on this morning. I was trying to figure out how to get sound, and so I kind
Yeah.
of missed the intro, but sorry about that.
Don't even worry.
I love goals lists. So like I have written down things previously, but my weakness is follow through.
Okay.
So, but yeah, for a few, I guess, major things, one thing is finances.
Mhm.
I still have debt right now from my master's classes.
Okay.
So I do have a goal to be out of debt by March, and it lines up financially. I figured out all those stats.
Fantastic.
So that's one big one.
Mhm.
And then once that's completed, my dream, I guess, or hope would be able to move out, to be able to support myself first, and then save up the money to move out. And then that leading to, just as Cheryl had said, to be able to help my parents. They're planning, I think, on retiring in about 6-7 years.
Okay.
But to be able to help them to see, what are their future plans and how does that tie into how I can help them there as well.
Excellent. Having those conversations. Love it.
Yes. And then from there, I was looking a little bit into just me personally, where my where I have influences with my life, whether family, church, and work.
Mhm.
So church, I pretty much lead the teen group, but it's like we meet once a week as a growth group. but making that a little bit more structured and having a vision of where I want to help the teens grow,
To
because a
take
lot of
them. Awesome.
a lot of them are public school, or I have a few homeschooled, but like the typical Bible stories, they don't know those kind of things.
Yeah.
So just opening them up to that.
Yes. Or even like a book study or something,
Yeah.
like that combines teens.
Right. Yeah, we do the Bible project on YouVersion once a
Okay.
week.
Yes.
So that it's like a 8-minute clip of like each book of the Bible. But I want to kind of dig deeper because it's so quick, and we only meet for like maybe a half hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
At like time.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to keep it so it's not academic per se. So it's not like, oh, you have to go home and do homework this week and then come back Sunday with it done, kind of, but also pique their interest.
Yeah. So I would love, Melissa and Danielle, if you guys, because you have lots of experience, not only obviously in years of teaching, but with kids of that age, if you guys would maybe think about that and center some ideas, because I think you probably have a lot of wisdom you can share on that.
Yeah, Sarah, you're on a good. They are definitely a video media based generation.
Sure.
So if you can, keep their interest with that, and then just positive results. If they can have positive results, they'll keep on going. I found that in my class. Bible memory, the girls thanked me more for that than anything, and the application of that, not just memorizing verses, but choosing a verse, sticking with it for a month, and just applying that to their life. That's off the top of my head. Sorry.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I'm jotting all this down right now. And then from there, healthy habits, of course. I, within the last 3 years, between having surgery and then this past summer, I have that plantar fasciitis. So making healthy choices with eating, but then also just routines. And from last Wednesday, I'm doing good. Mrs. Baker, Melissa, with doing the vitamins in the morning and at night, like without doing them without food has been fine. So that's been huge. So thank you for that. And then doing the water, I do a glass of lemon water in the morning before coffee. So just getting in the habit of drinking water is big. And then not drinking all the coffee at work. So,
and again, these are baby steps. Like they said, they're stepping stones. So it's not that coffee has to be cut out for the rest of your life, but that awareness of, for each one of these I drink, I need to drink one of these. So just having that connection, right? It sounds like you're on a great track. Yeah.
And then exercising, I haven't been, because I think it's a mental, like with work, I'm on my feet, like yesterday, 9 hours straight kind of a thing. So then you come home and you don't want to, do anything.
Quick question. How far do you guys live away from each other? Cheryl and Sarah.
We're like half hour. So
we tried.
Quick, we tried. We both got a gym membership. But I think we jumped into it too hard because we were going like 5-6 days a week.
Love it.
Doing stuff like at home on top.
All or nothing.
It was good. It was like, good. But I was also driving 45 minutes down and then 45 minutes home.
So it wasn't real.
They're building a new one in Limerick.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Good to know.
What one? What gym?
Is that Planet
Fitness?
Okay. Planet Fitness, there's already one in Limerick.
There is?
There is.
They built it fast.
Yeah. It's in the shopping center with the Mexican restaurant.
No, that's a Rascals.
That's a Rascals, I think.
They just built one across the street, and it's not
the same. Okay, Rascals and Planet Fitness they're set up the same.
Okay.
I guess that's why I thought it was the same. They're set up the same.
I think Planet Fitness is a little cheaper.
They're both cheap. They're both the same.
Awesome.
They're whatever it is, $20 a month or whatever that is.
Good. Well, there you go.
Awesome.
Write down so you can check it off.
And then as far just with doTERRA, my goal is to do a class a month. So I have one coming up this Saturday.
Excellent.
Yes. And then I've been holding off planning the next one because I wanted to see how this Saturday goes, but I know I shouldn't do that. So my next one though, I'm gonna plan with my neighbors in the area in December. So
Locally, excellent. I actually have a couple of things I was going to share with you guys about planning. So that's fantastic. I'm loving it. And I love that we all just sat here and listened to each other's dreams and hearts and thoughts, because that way, A, encouragement, but then B, accountability, right? Sarah, you mentioned you're awesome with goals and lists, maybe not as much the follow through. That's where we all come in. Like, hey, Sarah, you said you want to do this by this date. How is it going? How are you feeling? Danielle, how is it going with the city, zoning, pond digging, right? Like these little things. I love that we took the time. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Yes, Penelope. I will color that as soon as I'm all done. Okay. We have a craft station going on over here.
Awesome. I wish I could color with you, Penelope, right now.
Miss Danielle said she wishes she could color with you. Is that very sweet of her? Mm-hmm. She smiled. Okay, so oops, I didn't want to share this yet. Hold on. There was another one I wanted to share. Just had to find it first. It is quick review of PowerPoint. There it is. Okay, so going from, get rid of this screen, just quick review of what we went over last week. And can you guys still see this okay? Okay. This is what we're going through, the launch, walking through. We walked through a little bit of this, but I would love for you to super quickly write these 3 questions down. Why are you here? Why are you doing this with us? What are you wanting to walk away from this? So not today necessarily, but at the end of this launch, knowing what? Okay, so leave this program, the launch, knowing. Then 3, how do you want to leave it feeling? What do you want to have more encouragement, etc.? So why? What do you want to know, and what do you want to feel by the end of this? Everybody got them?
yes.
Okay. I can always send a screenshot, or this is in record too if you need. We walked through a little bit of this. So that far right one, the launch, is what we're going through. And this is a stepping stone to where you're going to take all your people. So this is the guides that you're handing out and you're using them. Okay. The build guide is, shoot, we have 10 minutes. Hopefully I can, where's my mouse? Okay, we're good. We can get through this all in 10 minutes. But the build is the anchor. This is the one they've gone through. And after the live share. Oh, fantastic. It's not letting me do anything now. Sorry, guys. I can't even move. Anyone good with PowerPoint? Keynote.
I don't know.
Okay, well, that's that. This is what our screen's going to look like, okay? So bear with me on that. But we had gone through last week the vision board we had talked about for reaching out, right? We had the goal, the 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, and that's your elite, your silver, and then your gold, platinum, etc. And what would you do with the extra? How could you dream with that? And then we had talked about making that names list, the 45. I would encourage you to start already having that written out, because eventually it's called your 100 names list. So you're going to be accessing that from when I still have mine from that, because you always are adding to it. You're crossing people off as they're enrolling. And no never means like officially no. It just means not yet, because maybe they're not at that point where they have that need yet. So always having the names there. We talked about the 100 names. We talked a little bit during our mentoring for our leaders with your ideal builder. So this is something I want you to be thinking about too. And I'll post more info maybe in our leader group of what that could mean, what that looks like. You know, who do you want to work with? Because you get to choose that. That's amazing. Sarah shows up at Starbucks. She doesn't get to choose who she works with, unfortunately. But this is where you get to pick exactly who and what personalities you're looking for. And then creating a goal and a plan of action, because that is what it all boils down to. So with that being said, I was going to show you, sorry, I can't. But on the pipes, remember we have PIPES. P stood for present. That's what we did last week. I is this week, it's invite. And so we are working to help people. We're basically what's called like catching the wave, because so many people, are hearing about the health and wellness, and you're hearing about, you know, these essential oils and the crazy voodoo, whatever, but they're piquing their interest. And so we're able to then ride on that wave and help them learn more and help them change their lives. And so that's what we're doing with all of this. Now, there are 3 steps we're going to walk through super quickly. They're absolutely crucial to this inviting stage. Okay. So schedule. Number 1, we'll break them all down to schedule, promote, and then create excitement. And if it cuts me off, I'll just do a quick live or something on our leader page. Schedule, promote, create excitement. So schedule, you've got to pre-plan. You can't just think it's going to happen. You have to actually set it aside. Success is scheduled. You can write that down. I guarantee that's the absolute truth of it. Success is scheduled. I was involved a while ago with a Truman Circle competition, or like a little inspiration thing. And I love that. I love the drive to be better, to do, you know, I have a certain guideline. And they had to have a certain amount of classes scheduled, and I was having classes at least 2 to 3 every week. There was one week that I had 5 classes a week that I was teaching every night or during the day. And this is what, you're not going to be that crazy, right? In the beginning, like Sarah had mentioned, starting with 1 class a month, but this is what you want to start working toward with keeping it all scheduled. So with launch, I think they actually have a guide in the launch. Mine's over there, where they have the calendar. You need to get your calendar and write it down. So you want to aim for each month, at least 3 classes a month is usually what the goal is. So you can do like 3 Friday nights, or a Wednesday night, Saturday night, or an afternoon even, or 3 one-on-ones, or 15 3 classes, or 15 one-on-ones. So some people aren't super comfortable getting up and standing in front of a class. Then you could be much more comfortable. Hey, let's go get coffee, or hey, can I meet you at your home while the kids are taking a nap or whatever, right? But it's going to take you longer, but that's why you're doing more of them, the 15 one-on-ones. And scheduling your whole month, eventually this is what your goal is. So I can look now at November and say, we're having a class here, here, and here. These are my free days. This is what I'm going to do at this time. You're scheduling. So for example, November 1st is our Toronto post-convention tour, taking your team members there, right? So I already have that blocked off, knowing ahead of time. And then knowing what days are free. Okay, so the second part, promote. So we talked about schedule. Second is promote. There are 3 different aspects we're going to talk here. Handing out invites. So they actually come with a class in the box, which I love that. They never used to have that. So that's awesome to have. And fill them out. If you're handing them out to people, or you have someone else hosting, you can have them filled out already and give them to the host and say, you know, this is something I would love for you to be able to give out to your people. You can even walk door to door, right? Because people are hearing about this, like we just talked about it. What she had, Natalie, our upline, she said what she usually was aiming for, hey Nancy, was inviting, having those handouts. She would always aim for 100 people to invite. She wanted to pack her house out, right? Every event, obviously 100 aren't going to show up. Usually it's 60 to 75% at the very most that are going to come. It's usually like a quarter of what it is. So 100, you're going to have maybe 25 come. So that was her goal. She needed 25, so she did 100. Connect with them on Facebook. Hey, I don't think we're friends yet. Are you on Facebook? Let me add you. Or can you add me, right? That way you're creating a relationship, like I know that Cheryl had mentioned before too. Always 1 week in advance. When you have your class, you're always starting at least a week ahead of time with the inviting. So you not only hand out the invites a week ahead of time, but you also create a Facebook event. If you're not sure how to do that, holler, we can help you with that. But you're getting that online and just posting info in it. You're not doing it online, but you're getting it out there, because somebody might see the invitation, be like, oh yeah, I saw that you had mentioned coughing and my kid's been hacking up a storm or whatever, right? So they're making that connection with you on your Facebook event. And then she said she does personally, she takes the invitation and she posts it on her personal Facebook wall. So not all the information, but just the invitation she posts on her personal Facebook wall. And she does the Facebook event. She posts that event 2 times, 1 week ahead, and then the night of it is when she does that, okay? At least those 2 times, 1 week ahead and the night of. And she always recommends, which same here, you have your oil group as you get going, and you have your business group. Okay. And then you can even, as you come, you're going to stem out of that. You can have a leaders group, but you have like your info group where you just post things and ideas and recipes. And then you have your team group. Is that the difference there? Canva, you guys have probably heard of that. There's an app, or you can just go to canva.com, and it looks like this blue, the C right there, that little C. And it's awesome, free. You can make fantastic flyers, invitations, etc. Don't get lost in it, because if you're like any sort of creative, artsy soul, you're like, oh, I can do this and this and this, and you'll use like one of them. So don't get lost. Keep it focused. Set a timer if you need to. I have 10 minutes to do this. But this is something you can create and share a little bit of nugget of info, like share that little teaser, right? You can get to do this, or we're going to make this, or, you know, we're learning about this, etc. Sharing that little bit of a nugget. Okay, number 3, create excitement. So you already did the invitation, you already scheduled it, you already promoted it. Now this is where you get to create the excitement. So many people are hearing about this health and wellness. So now we're going to capture that. We're going to ride that wave. And we already mentioned creating this excitement as you're inviting door to door. A great way for invites too, or if you're doing extra info, is to save it as a picture and print it at Walmart or Walgreens or Shoppers, wherever is in your area. And just having that little bit of, because it's what, like so many cents per picture, such a great cheap way to do it. And then handing out info that way. Fantastic tip. That Facebook event you created, this is where the excitement is building. So I had pictures to show you, sorry. You're creating that excitement within the Facebook event. So you're daily posting, like, did you know that if you were dealing with this situation, you can use this? Or did you know that On Guard kills it works so much better than Lysol Clorox? Like, you're creating this excitement and like, oh, I can use it for that, or I can bake with it. And you're continually reminding them of the ways and uses. And then you text your teasers to people. So you send a picture invite, remember that you already made, that you're sending that to them as well. You're like, hey, I'm so excited to see you. This is something that I'm really excited to share with you. You're sending that out as a text to them 3 days before. Was when you do this. 3 days before the event, you send them a little text teaser, and the day of, like that morning or right, a couple hours before, because we're busy. You guys know that. We're crazy busy, and it gets pretty psycho. So super quick too. I'm